We are here for the Te Pae Herenga or Tāmaki Pitch Local event.
This is our first one, so you actually will be one of the first people to ever pitch for Pitch Local.
Being able to clearly explain what the project is, and you've only got 2 minutes. So that's a real challenge.
Nervous at the moment, really nervous.
Scared.
Yep.
A little bit stressful.
2 minutes goes like that.
So Te Pae Herenga or Tāmaki was really excited to have this opportunity to provide some innovation funding. It was our first big project where we thought, okay, let's do something different here. As partners across the Tāmaki region, Te Pae Herenga have been really excited about being able to grow local solutions for their unique communities. Some of the partners have never thought about even putting in for funding, so this was really just a seed to start them to think, if I wanted to provide something in the community that's going to make some difference, what does that look like and how might that roll out in our community?
Sometimes the most interesting projects come from when you're really just responding to what you need to get done and how you need to work with whānau and community. You get straight to what they need.
We've worked on a couple of other projects before the Innovation Fund, but to me the potential for it is we can provide support to those grassroots organisations that don't often see the light or don't often get the sun on them.
We thought that whānau and community would be really excited, and then they were, and it somehow was still unexpected.
One of my friends who work at Waipireta too said, do you have any ideas of how you can add to the community because there's an initiative going out?
He said, honey, I think you should pitch for some funding for the nursery. And I said, oh, okay.
It's a great opportunity because then you have other smaller providers out there that don't get funding, an opportunity to be able to fund them because they do such awesome projects.
The most unexpected thing was actually finding out how much stunning work is going on in our community. And we don't often get to that very grassroots level of innovation.
All the successful applicants who had come this far had to stand up for 2 minutes in front of a judging panel and present their idea to this crowd.
Pitching the idea, I've never heard of it before, I thought.
Oh, that was a bit scary. For me, it was more about the time. Only having a couple of minutes to talk about something that's supposed to impact a lot of people's lives, it was very hard.
When I speak, it's from the heart, so it's pretty natural to just talk about stuff. But when you actually write it down and you think about the things that you want to say, that was quite difficult.
Some of these groups are commissioning for the very first time, so we held a number of workshops which was aiming to get ready our applicants for the Pitch Local event.
The wānanga with Sam Judd beforehand really helped. He taught us to structure our speeches so that it is within time, make sure that we have all of our points across clearly. So that was a really valuable wānanga that we had with him. Then it was pitch night.
The organisers went all out, so we had red carpet, it was catered well, the venue was outstanding, and all the energy levels were pumping.
Pitch night exceeded my expectations. You felt very VIP upon arrival.
I was nervous, but I was pretending like I wasn't, so I was hyping myself up.
It was all about the applicants and making them feel like this was a massive event, a majestic event for them.
So what we're looking for is something innovative.
What impact is that going to have on the community?
Just that creativity thing and a bit of innovation about it.
So we're really looking for something quite different.
Something that's going to pull the heartstrings and have some kind of social impact is really going to get me going.
We've got this one idea that we think could really change the game here for our community.
What is being offered is something that can help communities that we haven't currently met yet.
So the actual event was run like a Dragon's Den style, but in a whānau waterway. And some of them were so scared out the back, they were literally shaking.
I have this issue with talking really fast. I've just got to be able to calm it down.
Kaue whakamā. Kaue whakamā. You know, there's no need to be shy or anything like that. I think just stand with confidence.
Are you ready to pitch local?
When you kind of had that lead up of everyone together, kind of practicing their lines, that was a bit scary.
Our greatest aim will be for young people to understand the power in their voice, the power in themselves, so this can traverse longer than the project.
And a great tool for our rangatani moving forward.
Our mission is to empower people through fighting and inspire them to fight other battles in their life.
And my life purpose, I feel, is to change the world one Māori at a time.
Awesome whānau, Māori mai, Māori mai.
For me as a CEO of an organisation, to see whānau have courage, see their confidence, see how far they've actually come from their application to getting up on the stage, they did amazing.
With funding comes some sort of criteria that they must meet, how they spend their budget, how they report to that budget, how they write their narrative report.
For some providers it's like, if we get the money, how are we going to use it?
So what's the point of difference?
How you're going to prove that impact.
Have they stayed on the program?
Are you duplicating what is already out there?
What's your plan for taking this to the next level?
Do you have a business structure?
If you're successful with this grant, how many more people will get impacted by this amazing program?
The hardest decision tonight was obviously in the hand of our judges. When we talk about who's received funding, you are the winners tonight.
Post that event, I was having so many positive conversations with our applicants. It made the applicants feel like they were really legitimised around their innovation, around their idea.
Our approach is not only fund people to deliver a program, but also build their capacity so that they can start to understand their impact, measure their impact, and then provide some evidence around how they've made the difference. Commissioning is totally different to contracting, and it's focused on outcomes, not outputs.
With this funding, we've seen activities be supported that aren't really supported. You know, I'm just thinking about one of the initiatives that we've supported, the My Cup initiative. That's a menstruation cup thing for ladies, you know, combating period poverty up there in the kaipara.
They're giving me money to get menstrual cups for wahine who may struggle to afford tampons, pads each month. They sent me 186 cups. I'm giving out all of those, as well as probably another 1,000 teen cups. A lot. Letting them know that there's an alternative out there which is better for the environment, better for your wallet, better for your health.
You know, those sorts of initiatives are sort of just voluntary. We've been able to come along and provide that support to really give it a jump start.
So some of the projects that we've funded include someone called Hone.
Our project is the Native Tree Nursery that we have here in Avondale. We work closely with whānau that suffer from alcohol and drug addiction. And so they come here either via the drug court, or they come here via the probation services. And we provide them with environmental mahi here at the nursery that we can support them on their journey of recovery, both physically, mentally, spiritually, and environmentally.
The changes that he creates in them through the way he brings in other people who are going through the same issues in a very short period of time, I think creates quite a lot of change for them. So we funded his nursery project because it can create quite substantial change in a very short period of time. but with a long-term kind of change for the whānau.
I've seen some amazing changes happen with whānau that have been in and out of jail. Unless we find a solution to be able to stop the behaviour pattern, then the behaviour pattern will continue. And doing nothing is not an option any longer. It's about supporting whānau, about turning their lives around. And so the benefits will flow on to their children and their grandchildren.
The implications for us as a provider becoming a commissioning agent is the administration. However, through that administration process, you become quite intimate with their project. I see that as a positive. When we went into this commissioning approach, one thing we were really trying to focus on was removing barriers to access this fund. We've been working with our whenua warrior. She's outstanding, so she's into harvestable gardens, marakai.
So I am going to be partnering up with James Cook High School and create a manuhiri mara, which will allow them to have staple food available, as well as an orchard. The major impact that comes with building gardens for community is that there's a garden for the community. So the hope in that food growing is that it'll spark an interest enough to creating a more sustainable lifestyle that doesn't depend on the monetary system. James Cook created me. I am the person I am today because of James Cook High School. And I wanted to tribute back to the teachers as well that made me who I am.
I think what worked well was actually giving the different providers an opportunity to come and talk to somebody that actually had presented, take that and go out and bid for more money.
In 2017, we experienced a high number of youth suicides in our community, and we wanted to be able to respond to that in a positive way. So we responded by wanting to build up youth wellbeing in our community. We had a lot of experiences amplified by social media. So we want to essentially take back Facebook, take back social media.
Mainstream media has been the one that's been telling the narrative for us. And I think it was about time that people from their own community took back that narrative and said what they thought about their own community. We want to show the beautiful side and I guess the authentic side of what actually happens.
Their whole initiative for the community is for rangatahi who are actually struggling to find who they are, perform it through music, arts, gives them the opportunity of learning how to put their voice on camera.
I think some of the implications for providers around being commissioning agencies are what type of resource do we need as providers to ensure that we uphold our end of being a smaller commissioning agency? What are the expectations from our funder who's actually giving us those grants and funding to become smaller commissioning agencies? But I think there's always benefits for providers. We get to learn, we get to show our resourcing and how we can fund directly to whānau. To some of us, they might not be anything, but actually to them as an individual, the potential that the Innovation Fund has to skyrocket someone's project to the rest of Aotearoa, I think is amazing.
One time I went past Southmore and I noticed our whānau homeless and lying in the street, and I drove past them, and as I was driving past them I was thinking, if it's hard for me to afford things, how does this affect them, and how can I provide a solution for them? So that's my big drive. My project is Mate Marama, and the purpose of Mate Marama is to provide alternative affordable menstrual products for women who are experiencing hardship, particularly in South Auckland.
She's created the space to be able to work with 20 to 30 Māori wahine in our community.
The impact that I'm looking for is potentially huge, helping our whānau to be able to save some money by providing these alternative menstrual kits.
It's about a working partnership and seeing where we can go through to reduce those barriers and blocks.
I'm really grateful to be able to have the opportunity to provide a service like this for my community, to be able to give back to my people, is something that I will forever be grateful for.
As a provider, we tried to find people who hadn't had access to funding or didn't know how to apply.
Mahatma Gandhi said, if you want to change the world, you must first change yourself. And then someone else added to that and said, then change your family, then your community, then the people. So that's why I decided to start my program at Kelston Boys. I went to that school.
We funded someone called John Vake. He's quite young, but he has kind of gone through and learnt a lot about leadership and mentoring through his own training with fighting.
The way I see it is that we empower these kids, but the vehicle that we use to empower them is fighting. So boxing in particular, we teach them the basic boxing fundamentals over 12 weeks. But the idea is that we hope they learn through the process of learning these boxing fundamentals, the process of how to achieve something, how to set a goal, and how to have a standard and work towards that standard.
We funded him because his project is new. He's never done anything like this. He just really wanted to give something a go. When you see him talk, like, you're just inspired. He's like 1,000 inspirational quotes in like one person. It's amazing.
I feel like with our youth, we're so easy to follow the latest trend on Instagram and what the latest superstar is doing. It's hard for them to quiet that noise and really say, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Instead of trying to chase something that's not actually them. I told the kids yesterday, at the end of this project, you don't have to know what your dream is. You just need to know what your dream is not. I guess from there, I hope to foster their self-awareness, their self-discipline, their self-confidence, their self-worth. I know for a fact that this would only have been on paper. They actually believed in me enough where they were like, yeah, go start something. And now I have meaningful work. And that's the message that I'm going to tell these kids is the goal in life is to not work. The goal in life is to find work that's meaningful. And that way you'll never work another day in your life. And that's what I'm aiming to do.
Some of the barriers that I think the providers might face that have come through Pitch Local will probably be the funding, because a lot of them have come through wanting more than we can offer. They might not have the resources to continue to run the programs that they're currently wanting to run.
I guess a barrier could be if we don't have the resource at our end and we're not able to support them as much as we want to.
I think that the barriers to this type of commissioning is about our own capacity as providers. It's totally new for us. It's the first time we have a lot more freedom to design what we want to deliver to our whānau. It's changing the way we work with whānau because we have so often delivered services that are funded or contracted. This is what we deliver as opposed to being more responsive to whānau and community.
Some concerns that we did have starting up was our capacity in terms of setting all the processes up to be a local commissioner. Quite arduous, I guess. Not to say that we haven't been able to do the job. Increased funding would help us better deliver to the ground.
Pitch Local, I think, is just the beginning of what that would look like in terms of commissioning. It's the start, and it's the beginning of what else can we do in Te Pae Herenga or Tāmaki as whānau water collectives.
I really love how Pitch Local has come together, that it's a group of different urban Māori authorities that have come together and worked together, and I think that really shows something to our community. It role models to us what we can be doing and how we can be working together in more collaborative ways.
This project has worked well because we've all been on board the idea, we've all invested some of our resources into it, and every partner believes that in the community they have their own solutions. I think our approach onto growing innovative new community ideas or supporting existing community ideas has worked really well. I think the whole commissioning approach, and once you understand what it is and it's around a permissive environment that communities develop and deliver their own programs that aren't imposed on whānau, I think that's worked well, yes.
You know that there's good ideas out there, you know that there's exciting things happening. You know that there's people with good hearts just trying to change the world in their own little community. And yet when you come in contact with them, it's still just like, oh my God,